Hello, everybody. Julius T here. I want to talk about what's going on in this sexual harassment malarkeyism that's going on in the so-called Silicon Valley. Um, I'm, the reason I'm quite annoyed by it is that Silicon Valley was sort of founded by HP in around 1938, and there's this sort of constant annoyance that we're look. Basically, I'm faffing about trying to explain. You're getting women that are complaining about the culture of Silicon Valley, that it's very male, very very male dominated. I've just read on here. I think this is the Financial Times that there are only supposedly only 4% of venture capitalists are female. So what? So what? What is it they want? I tell you what they want. They want Silicon Valley to be like the universities, where 60% or more of women who go to university in America and university in the UK and probably Australia are women. So they don't want a balance where it's 50-50. They want a balance where it just swings to the other side. And once they get to that balance, they will be happy. Now, my personal view is this. Silicon Valley was set up by guys. It's become very, very successful. Uber successful, as they say. And that's another thing I want to talk about as well, Uber. It's become really, really successful. And this is the things that annoys me about women is that when men set things up, they always want to fucking come in and disrupt it as much as they possibly can. With all this sexual harassment bollocks, they want to see more diversity bollocks. They want to see half and half, male and female bollocks. It's shit. Silicon Valley was set by men and should remain as that. What I propose is this. Women are saying that they're not being successful in Silicon Valley, yet I've read there's woman that set up, is it Shopio? Co-founded it was a woman, two women or whatever it was. There's a Y incumbent or incubator, Y incubator. I suppose that's to do with the female. Is that to do with the female Y chromosome? Set up by women, and they gave money to set up. That started off Dropbox, which I think is rubbish. Dropbox, Reddit, and there was one other one they become. It is fairly well known. I just can't remember the name. Now, these companies, I'm sure. I mean, Dropbox, I think, was a guy. Reddit was set up. Was it set up by a guy? It's still men that are the powerhouse of Silicon Valley, not women. If women are real powerhouses, they will get on with the job of being pure powerhouses. I've seen a statistic that 46% of female graduates in science occurred, I think, in the 80s, 70s, late 80s. But now that's dropped, apparently, to 17%. So where women have more choice today, a lot more choice, and can do a lot of the things that they're been screaming and shouting that they couldn't do in the past. They don't seem to want to do these particular sciences. So, what Silicon Valley wants to do with all these female bitches that are coming in, they just want to bring in hordes of women, okay, which will dilute I believe, the real, true creativeness of Silicon Valley. Okay, for this complete bollocks and shit, where they say they want, it to be male and female. What they really want, they want women to eventually dominate Silicon Valley, just like women dominate the universities, just like women dominate nursing, just like women dominate veterinary services, just like women dominate psychiatry. Yeah, they keep on going on that men dominate this, men dominate that, but there are many professions that women are really do dominate. Fashion industry. They say that women in virtually every industry, women are badly paid or poorly paid. Yet, the fashion industry, women earn probably 10 to 20 times more than their male counterparts. Also, in the porn industry, women can earn a lot more than their male counterparts. I mean, those are only two examples, but I'm sure there are other industries that women earn far, far more than men do. Okay, that are female sort of dominated, female sort of have a female thing to, you know. I am no longer interested. I don't give a fuck anymore what goes on with women, or supposedly in Silicon Valley. If women are supposedly the intellectual giants of this planet and not men, why are women not setting up their own Silicon Valley? There's these women that are Silicon Valley that have set up there. They could up sticks and say collectively, right, we're going to find a patch of land or just somewhere and say, here we are. We are now the new female Silicon Valley. And we're going to grow and we're going to dominate and we're going to outpace the men. Why is it that when men are doing things, women always seem to want to come in and disrupt it? Look at cricket. Look at tennis, for instance. There was a guy who mentioned, I mean, everybody knew about it, it was in the papers and the news, who stated that if it wasn't for the women playing at the same time, the structure, for instance, in Wimbledon, is that men and women play exactly the same time during the 2 week period. Okay. And it's basically stated that it was the men's game that was helping to drive the women's game to be popular. The geezer had to end up walking away. He resigned off his own bat. But it kicked up a stink. I think his name was Djokovic. He was number one at the time. He agreed, but then he had to retract it. Because the feminist bitches lost their collective shit. So even though he was telling the truth, the point being is this: women's golf is starting to get a little bit of crust. I believe the reason why they started to get a little bit of crust is because of the fact that the times when they've crossed over, a few of the so-called star girls have moved over to the men's side, played in the men's golf, as sort of, to compete. And it's consistently failed where they have not made the cut. And yet, you've got one woman who dominates the women's tennis, the women's golf. Yet when they come into the men, they're not making the cut. So the female side is doing okay and it's making its money. And I appreciate, you know, you've got to admire that. That's great. It cannot ride off the back of the male sport. It must make its own niche. It must advertise itself, okay, and bring in its own crowd, okay, in order to gain respect. So, you know, I think that is where the situation with Silicon Valley needs to go. I think women need to set up their own Silicon Valley so that this so-called sexual harassment shit will hopefully go away. Women will be able to leave en masse and go and work for these women, and there won't be any problems. Because the reason, I'm also pissed off about Uber. This is a company. I don't know whether it was the first company. I think it was the first company that brought out a concept where the ordinary man and woman who has a car that is within the age range of the taxi association. I think it can't be any more than 7 or 8 years old. So you could have a car sit on the driveway and you think, oh no, I want to become a taxi driver. So you can then go to the Uber office, sit in a few classes. They'll tell you how to go about becoming a taxi driver. You then do the taxi test as the private cab guys do. Exactly the same thing. But the difference is this. When you are qualified, fully qualified, you are then logged into the Uber system. Instead of you having to go to a base being, that's near a chippy, and you go and see the people and they charge you literally 80 to 100. No, it's actually, when I inquired myself about becoming a cabbie, the guy said to me, the radios that go into cars cost £120 a week. That's how that cabbie firm makes its money. So if it's got 20 or 30 drivers at £120 per week. So if say it's £100, that's £3,000 per week that cabbie firm is making for themselves. Then the drivers have got to earn their own money in order to be able to pay for that £120 for the radioing they have. Okay? So 3, 6. So that cabbie firm is making on average, depends, it might have more drivers, anywhere between £8,000 to £15,000 a month. Which is a lot of money. But what Uber has done is basically free up the driver from having to look to work for a cabbie firm. Instead, has an app or software that when you register with Uber, you can download to your phone, to your tablet. You then log in. So you've logged in to your system. They see that you're automatically logged in. They know that they can see the location that you're logged in through, and they say, right, there's 4 jobs right next to you. We'll give you the closest one that there is, which could be just by a difference of half a meter, literally. But that job will then be assigned to you straight away. Okay? That job will be assigned to you straight away. Or you might even say on the app, I think you may be able to put in to do only airport runs, which you can make quite a lot of money from, because they're normally 60, 70, £80 a go to carry people. And so you might just put in there you only want to do airport runs. and it will give you them according to the people that are in your area or within a certain area that you decide to put in that you work for. But the point is, you can log in and log out any time of the day you want if you want to earn some money. So if you want to log in at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, and go and do some work, if there's any work available around and sees that you are logged in, it will send that job straight to you. And it will ping up on your phone and you go, oh, there's a job at this address. You drive down to that address, carry the people to where they want to go. There is no money needs to be exchanged, which makes it safe not only for you, so you're not carrying money in your vehicle. It makes it safe for the passenger as well, because they don't have to give money hand over to you. It's already paid, and there's no haggling, no sort of nonsense. I've had when I got into a vehicle, I was told it was £8. The guy tells me it's £10. So I thought, all right, it's £10. When I got to the destination, I just gave him his £10. I didn't give him a tip, nothing. So I think Uber is fantastic. It gives people an opportunity to be able to be very, very, very flexible. Literally. So if someone will say, well, you know what, I'm going to log in at 12 o'clock at night. I'll sit in my van or sit in my car and I'll see there's jobs may pop in, may not pop in, because there's people going to nightclubs or going to restaurants or whatever. And, a few jobs come in and you make a little bit of money through that time. You might work till 6 o'clock in the morning. Great. You can work anytime you want. You can log in anytime you want. You can log in any day you want. If you only want to do 2 or 3 days a week, brilliant. If you want to do only just Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is going to be the most lucrative, of course, for the weekend, great. You are flexible in what you do. And you don't have to ask about it. You don't have to talk to anybody about it. You just log in or log out. That's it. There's also, sounds like there's no favoritism as well. I know that in cab firms, these guys, the controllers will have their favourite drivers that they know they can rely on to do the job quickly, but they're just good friends and will give them the airport runs and all this. But it happens. These people know it happens. So Uber is a really fantastic, cool concept. Why don't these women, these venture capitalist women, set up this idea or come up with this idea themselves? I'm honestly getting sick and tired of seeing this constant story of women being harassed in Silicon Valley time and time again. Many of those could be false. You've also got to bear that in mind. Many of them could be false. I personally think that, as I said before, I think Silicon Valley should, women should sort of set their own Silicon Valley, and move there. Because all they're doing is leeching off the real intellects, the real bright people that are in Silicon Valley. I'm sick and tired of seeing guys who are getting up in court, getting through prison because they're being geezers. Yes, some of it is tasteful. They should be doing it. I never have done it. I don't think men shouldn't be harassing women. But there are things that are being classed as harassment when it might be just a guy just going up to a woman and chit chatting to her. So what if she's a CEO of a company? You're not supposed to talk to her. You're not supposed to chit chat with her. Obviously, that's what they want. They don't want you to talk to them. They want you to chit chat with them. My personal view is I personally would prefer to see women set up their own businesses, set up their own Silicon Valley, and stop leeching off Silicon Valley and trying to destroy this particular area. I just think that women they tend to constantly put their hand out every single time, wanting more and more money, and always crying out sexual discrimination this, sexual discrimination that. It's getting tiring. It's getting very, very annoying. You know, the feminists, the women are driven by the feminist bitches out there. You know, the feminist movement. I really do hate the feminist movement. I don't care what anyone says. No, I'm not a fucking feminist. I'm a geezer. I'm a bloke. If you don't like that, you can stick your head up your fucking ass. Good night.